I thank you for the opportunity to address this August House on the recent flooding incidents in the national capital and elsewhere in the country. I would like to commend the Minority Chief Whip, Honorable Kwame Abuja, and the entire House, indeed, including the Speaker, for raising the issue of perennial flooding on the floor of Parliament on the 23rd of June, 2023. May I first of all express government and my commiseration to the bereaved families for the loss of their loved ones during the heavy downpour from Wednesday 21st to Friday 23rd June 2023 in some parts of Kumasi in the Ashanti region, including my own beloved Bantima constituency, where 5 lives, 2 of whom were siblings, were unfortunately lost. Here in Accra, some lost their livelihoods, whilst others suffered damages of their properties and other valuables. My sympathies are with the families during this challenging period. Our follow-ups, however, indicate that the rainfall experienced in Accra on Thursday, 22nd June, did not, fortunately, result in any loss of life. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Works and Housing is conscious of the increasing risk of flooding across the country, largely due to inadequate drainage infrastructure, improper solid waste disposal, disregard for planning rules and regulations, and rapid urbanization, among others. The adverse effect of climate change has compounded these factors. Consequently, we have in recent times seen flooding in other urban centers, such as Kumasi, Sekondi Takoradi, Koforidia, and Tamale, that did not used to experience much flooding. Globally, the dire effects of climate change have left unforgettable footprints in many countries, such as Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone, and Nigeria, among others, and Ghana is no exception. For this reason, Mr. Speaker, the ministry has over the years initiated and implemented major drainage projects across the country to mitigate flooding. As a demonstration of our commitment to tackling Ghana's perennial flooding challenge, the government of President Akufo-Addo has been implementing a comprehensive flood control and management program with the following components. 1. Construction of drainage channels and desilting under the National Flood Control Program. Regular monitoring of flood-prone areas to assess our preparedness and educate the public via multiple media channels on flood prevention practices. Collaboration with other ministries, namely local government, decentralization and rural development, and national security to prevent development in waterways and drainage reservations. Investment in flood mitigation measures under the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development Project, otherwise known as the GARID project, and collaboration with other government agencies, namely the Ghana Meteorological Agency, the Water Resources Commission, and NADMO, towards the issuance of early warning notices. Mr. Speaker, in line with our dedication to building resilient communities and decreasing the occurrence of flooding, government embarked on the National Flood Control Program in the year 2018 and 2020. The aim has been to allocate resources towards enhancing flood resilience of our vulnerable communities. Since 2018, The government has committed 450 million Ghana cedis to this program, making it the most substantial investment from Ghanaian government funding sources dedicated to addressing flooding. Under this program, Mr. Speaker, 384 desilting projects and 202 drainage channel construction projects were initiated. To date, 370 desilting projects representing 96% have been completed, and 84 drainage channel construction projects representing 42% have been completed, with the remaining 118 at various stages of completion. The effect has been the mitigation of flood hazards in beneficiary communities such as Kuntinasi Satellite, Achimota Mile 7, Kantamanso, Mamprobi, Adeka Aibe Town, Labadi Olympia, Nungwa United Church Area, Pacho, Medina Firestone, Medina Mayo Hot, Medina Redco, Medina Oblogo, Domi Crossing, Weja Giselle, Kaswa Iron City, Kaswa Obom, Insuanu Stream, in English Amanfru, and Ashaiman. Mr. Speaker, other selected flood hotspots that are benefiting from the 2020 program include Kaswa Millennium City, Adenta Sakora, Insechi, Ablekuma, Dowenya Domi Railway Crossing, New Legon, Adenta Sango, and Naplajo Drains, Kakum River, Brim River, Leprosarium Drain, Densu River, Okojo River, Owabi River, Sehuyoso, Abuabu Drain, to name a few. Mr. Speaker, ahead of the pending rainy season, I embarked on a working visit of some flood-prone communities in Accra with technical staff from the ministry and the Ghana Hydrological Authority to ascertain our level of preparedness and gain first-hand insights into the challenges we face when it comes to mitigating the risks associated with flooding. Mr. Speaker, it became more evident that human activities are severely impeding government's effort to tackle the issue of flooding. The observations include filling of lagoons and wetlands with construction materials for development purposes, building on drainage channels, hence blocking the free flow of storm water, dumping of solid waste in drains, thereby reducing their capacity to hold storm water, and the gaps in the enforcement of planning laws and building regulations by the various MMDAs. Subsequently, Mr. Speaker, Cabinet at its 47th meeting held on Saturday, 25th March 2023, considered a report on my inspection of the drainage infrastructure here in Accra. Cabinet noted the need to consider flooding in Accra as a national security issue, since effective law enforcement has a major role to play in addressing the challenge. Subsequently, Cabinet constituted a committee to develop a comprehensive plan with appropriate measures to strengthen the enforcement of laws relating to lands and siting of buildings. The committee comprises the following ministers: National Security as chairperson, Local Government Decentralization and Rural Development, Sanitation and Water Resources, Works and Housing, and Land and Natural Resources. Mr. Speaker, while the committee does its work, my ministry will continue its engagement with the Ministry of National Security in seeking support for the assemblies to ensure enforce planning laws and building regulations. My ministry will continue engagement with the Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development to strengthen the support provided to the assemblies in addressing the issue of buildings in waterways and drainage buffers. Mr. Speaker, another important component of government's holistic approach to addressing flooding in vulnerable communities is the investment in the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Project, which is the GARID project. Through the GARID project, the government is partnering with the World Bank to invest $200 million towards reducing flood risk and addressing solid waste management challenge in the Odo drainage basin. The project is being implemented by the Ministry of Works and Housing, the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources, and the Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development. Ahead of the rainy season, the project has provided financial assistance to 17 metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies in the Odo catchment for the Silton key drainage channels within their respective jurisdictions. These include Ayawaso Central, North, East and West, La Nkwantanai, Ga East, Adentan, La Dade Kotopon, Ga West, Ga North and Ga Central. This initiative has contributed to the mitigation of flood by improving the capacity of the tertiary drains. Mr. Speaker, other interventions under the project include drainage improvement works at Achimota, Nima, and Carnation, as well as participatory community upgrades in Aloboshi, Akweteman, and Nima. The procurement processes for the dredging of the Odo drainage channel, drainage improvement works at Achimota, Nima, and community upgrades in Aloboshi and Akweteman are almost complete. Construction expected to commence in the third quarter of this year, following the implementation of a resettlement action plan. Another important measure involves the construction of retention pump in the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission area. These pumps are designed to hold substantial amounts of water that will otherwise flow into the city center and contribute to flooding. Our technical team is currently working with the design consultant to finalize all outstanding designs. Mr. Speaker, in addition to implementing the structural measures outlined above, we are also actively engaged in the implementation of non-structural measures regarding the GARID project. These include the establishment of flood early warning system for the Greater Accra region, as well as the implementation of a social and behavioral change campaign. Through the early warning system, individuals residing in vulnerable communities will receive advanced notifications of potential flooding occurrences, enabling them to take the necessary precautions to safeguard their lives, properties, and livelihoods. While we have made significant progress, we do recognize the pressing need to establish more dependable drainage infrastructure across the country to enhance resilience within our communities. Since I assumed office, Mr. Speaker, the ministry has actively engaged with the Ministry of Finance in order to secure the necessary financial resources required to fulfill this objective. Mr. Speaker, let me highlight that despite the ministry's efforts, extensive efforts, the impact of government's investment in mitigation flood risk is seriously undermined by human activities. It is important for citizens to support government's efforts by adhering to the rules and regulations governing settlement planning. Additionally, it is essential for citizens to refrain from engaging in development activities within wetlands, waterways, and drainage buffers. Furthermore, it is even more critical for citizens to exercise caution in managing household solid waste and refrain from using drainage channels as dumping grounds for refuse. By so doing, Mr. Speaker, we can collectively work towards reducing the vulnerability to flooding and ensuring the effectiveness of the implemented measures. Mr. Speaker, I wish to take this opportunity to urge our revered traditional rulers, religious and community leaders, civil society groups, and the media to rally behind government's effort in flood control.